All right, let's roll. Here we go. Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast. Are you bleeping? That's for you, Tucker. Kidding me? Like, oh my God, Elliot. Like, I don't even know where, like, obviously the where to start is like Jordan Davis. Like, what a play, what a game. What a like an exclamation point on him kind of getting himself in shape on this whole thing. Like 2 blocked field goals in the same game. I can't remember that happening. Like and just like a game where it felt like they lost so definitively the first half. The game was over that first drive when he fumbled in the second half. And then the comeback. And then it was when they were lining up the field goal. You're like, you know what? I expected to lose anyway. And then that happens. And it's like just a magical win, honestly, really. And you know, the offense in the second half, there's so much for us to get into, but just off the top, like we will honestly, the Deshaun game, like,
so I was going to say,
we won't
Tucker,
see many things like that. Like the comeback and a winning like that, we won't see many. You never see many things. It's an all-timer.
So Tucker texted me this. I think this is the Eagles' biggest comeback since that Giants Deshaun game when he returned the kick, both end on a special teams play. You know how like after a team has a bad game, they say throw the tape out? Just throw the halftime show out that we did. It's like, just throw it out. Just throw it out. Like there'll be plenty to talk about throughout the week from that. But man, oh man, I would just say to all the other 31 teams in the NFL, good freaking luck ever beating this Eagles team. If they're not going to lose this game, then they're never going to lose. If this is not a game where the Rams could get revenge, if this is not a game where the team is going to quit, if this is not a game where they're not going to have it in to win a game, they never will. Like, of course, look, are they going to go 17-0? Probably not. But if you're going to win a game where you look so incredibly lifeless in the first half, like disgustingly lifeless, the coaching came out bad, Jalen wasn't playing well, the defense was struggling, the special teams forgot how to catch a kick. If you're the Rams, you have to be sitting in that locker room and be like, what is it going to take? We couldn't beat them in our house. We couldn't beat them in the snow. We couldn't beat them when we're up 23 points or whatever it was. Like, this Eagles team deserves a ton of credit for winning that game. And to your point, I was sitting there basically being like, moral victory. I was ready to come on. I wasn't even
moral victory. I was like less of a bummer than it would have been. Was where I'm at.
Yes.
I was ready to be like super upset, and now I'm like, that sucks, but I expected to lose. And now I'm like, my week is going to be amazing. Like, I'm so happy.
Well, think of the narrative change, obviously, from this game, but also like, so when Jalen,
real just quick before a big, like for a conference win, like you talked about,
huge for tiebreaker.
3-0, like just, it matters.
So when Jalen fumbled that ball at the start of the third quarter and they scored the touchdown, I tweeted this was a combination of the 49ers game in 2023 and the Bucs game last year. Just the most disgusting half of football we've seen from this team in a long time.
They said on the broadcast, Elliot, the worst in the New York Sirianni era, just statistically.
Yeah, and it felt like it. Like, because at least against the Buccaneers last year, they didn't have all their people. In the 49ers year, you know, we didn't know the collapse was coming, but it's viewed differently now with the collapse. Like, that was a really bad performance, and especially in a game where we felt they had to play well. And then in the second half, like, I'm going to tweet this when I get a chance, but this is why Jalen's a top 5 quarterback. Like, I was very honest over the past week how I felt about how he was playing. I do not think he had a good start to the year. I do think he held blame for the games being close. But you know what? If I'm like, that's it. That's why this dude is top 5. Like, you can say whatever you want, and I have, right? They might never have a prolific passing game with him as quarterback. They might never be like the most visually pleasing team. He might not have the highlights other quarterbacks have. But you know what he does have? More wins than all of them. And like Jalen in that game. So I have a unique perspective. And I guess I don't know if they showed it on the TV. But almost every game when Jalen's not on the field, he is on the sideline looking at a tablet talking to his coaches. In the second half of this game, this dude was pacing back and forth on the sideline like a freaking caged animal dying to get back out on the field. He's yelling to the sideline. He's talking to players. He's going up to Saquon. Like, again, not good in the first half. And the rewatch of that game in the first half, my guess is will not be pretty. I thought he missed some open guys. But you know what? To his credit, in the second half, he threw the ball extremely well. And, late in the game, like, I'm obviously texting with people while the game's going on. And I go, what an impressive win. And then one of my friends goes, well, they haven't won yet. And I'm just looking at it like, yeah, they have. Yeah, they have. Like they had 3rd and 6 or whatever it was from the goal at the end of the half. And I had no doubt they were going to win that game. No doubt. And then the 2-point conversion, I know they didn't get it, but like even then I was pretty sure they find a way to win games. And that starts with the top. Like, and again, the halftime show that we'll never talk about ever again.
It's already
Me and Tucker. Yeah, me and Tucker were talking and saying like, that first half was on Sirianni. Like Jalen didn't play well, but the first half of that game was absolutely on Sirianni. They came out, they looked unprepared, they weren't trying. It was like that is a head coaching failure when you look that bad. But the flip side of that, and why James Week is going to be great, is Nick deserves credit for the fight they showed in the second half. Like Jalen deserves credit for how he played, and Nick deserves credit for how that team fought. Nick talks all the time about toughness, not giving up, playing for each other. Like 100%. That's what that is. That's what that is. And this is not a Rams podcast. We won't get into it. But like the Rams are just a soft team, man. Like they're talented, but like to blow that game, to have two block field goals, someone, and I won't say who, texted me and you being like, teams always kind of vomit over themselves when they play the Eagles. And like, credit to the Eagles for that. Yeah.
For like not being the team that vomits.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
they take advantage of them. They step out of the way and then walk past the person vomiting.
Me and you talk so much about how Jalen never makes the backbreaking mistake. And today they were so close to making it. They could not have come closer to making that one play that ends the game, but they didn't make it. And they come back and they win the game. And I mean, I'm not in the locker room. I will be once this pod is over, but I can only imagine like the vibe and the mood in that locker room.
They deserve it. A better analogy, the Eagles are the person holding the person's hair back while they're puking.
Yeah. But let me help you hand me this W real quick.
Yeah. And look, to your point, and look, I'll be honest with you too, because at halftime when I was, I went downstairs, I got something to drink, this and that, whatever, basically, me pacing like, frenetic energy. And, I had a thought of like, look, I am not going to like indict this team moving forward, but I can't come on and just be like, that was fine. You know what I mean? Like they played so bad that and I still would not have like been like, oh, like this means they're not going to be good, whatever. But like, I couldn't have come on and been like, that didn't matter if they played the rest of the game that way. And I even said to Emily, I was like, when was the last time the Eagles just got their asses kicked? Like,
yeah, it's been a long time.
You know what I mean? It felt like it was going that way. And then to your point, so much credit to the whole team mental toughness wise, especially without Lane Johnson. Shout out to freaking Fred Johnson coming in and stabilizing things. That's why you bring that guy back. And without Lane, they've historically just been so bad. And that was such a thing with how bad they were. And at halftime, they fix it after, that first drive. And then for Jalen, man, all the we've been out there and, dealing with it. And I'm just so happy for him and so happy that we saw it. AJ Brown 6 for 109 and a tutty. I think we don't have to worry about it.
Dude, he was unbelievable.
He was awesome. And he deserved every single one of those yards. I mean, the move that like some of those ones where it was caught it and just was like, no, I'm not going down. I'm adding 10 extra yards to this. Devontae was awesome. They were there when they needed it. Jalen, I mean, that 4th down touchdown to Devontae, just so freaking clutch, so huge. And look, you think about it this way too. The way they beat the Rams twice last year was, and in the first game they threw it well, but they won it because Saquon ran for like 460 combined yards in 2 games, plus more receiving and all that. Like Saquon was not able to get going at any point, at any moment of this game. And Eagles found another way to win and come back from like whatever it was, 20 points, 26, whatever the number was, like, and win a really tough game like that. It's just, it's a day to give him credit, like you said. And again, Jordan Davis, like we'll get to even like Jordan Davis, like that dude deserves all the stars, all the accolades today, because that's the game of his career to this point.
Dude, so before the field goal kick, I moved into the booth where I do the post-game pod to like get ready. And then obviously they blocked the kick. Watching Jordan Davis run those final 30 yards, like you can see why at the combine he set like records for his size. I mean, dude,
was texting people his spider chart after he ran down.
Matthew Stafford on a 3rd down.
I was texting. My buddy was like texting our group that being like, "Wow, like what about Davis?" I was like, "This dude's a freaking all-time athlete, guys." I was like, "Look at this." I was like, "Yeah, I have the spider chart on my phone just to send out." Like I'm so, and then I wouldn't even see him running because I saw the block and I was like, "Oh my god, we win!" And then it's like Jordan Davis is going, and I'm like, "He's what?" You know?
So for a split second, I was like, yo, go down, bro. Like, go down.
Yeah,
like, you know,
totally,
you never ever, obviously the chances are very slim, but like,
but they got the
dude,
cover because of it, Elliot. What a cover, too.
I know. Well, the moment in the end zone when he won that, like when he won that game was so cool to look at. I don't know how much they showed it on TV, but like, so also I just thought of this, just tweeted it. Like, all right, week 3, 2017, Jake Elliott, 61-yard field goal. Week 3, 2022, Dallas Goedert, 61-yard catch to beat the Saints. I don't know how long this was, but like wasn't far off of 61 yards. Jordan Davis blocked kick to win the game.
Wow.
Like,
look, the 61-yard kick is memorable because they won the Super Bowl, and it's memorable because it was the long kick. Like, this is way more memorable. Like, I don't know.
It's an all-time comeback. It's an all-time.
I don't know how like often a blocked field goal touchdown ends a game, but it doesn't happen very often. You know?
Yeah, well, and it's funny because it happened. Well, it didn't end the game, but I guess the Jets won in a similar fashion.
Field goal, touchdown, walk off, a block, walk off, block. Like, that's fair, you know. Like,
so let's talk about Jordan. Let's talk about Jordan Davis. So we talked about him earlier in the week, and like I asked Nick about him earlier in the week. I talked to Jordan Davis about it, but like, you want to talk about a feel-good story, man. Like, he did not have the best start to his career. He will tell you that. He was fined last year for being overweight. Like, it took him a little bit of time, right? But the block field goal, first of all, unbelievable play, obviously. Like, unbelievably special play. I think it was either him or Jalen Carter that blocked the first one, or they blocked it together.
I think was
but he was right there with it too.
Both. Yeah.
But let's, like, that aside, like, he was awesome today on defense. That play on Stafford that you brought up, that's a massive play. Like, I'm watching it live and I'm thinking, oh, Stafford has it. Just like the angle from watching up in the press box. And Jordan Davis gets over there and forces him out of bounds. Like, look, Jalen Carter is a better player than Jordan Davis, but I'm telling you, from being in that locker room, from being around him his whole career, like, that dude is an important player. He's not going to get paid what Jalen Carter will. I get it. But my God, if he plays like this the rest of the season,
he's earning himself some money,
he might not be far off.
$12 million for next year is so far looking like a freaking steal, buddy.
If he wouldn't
you were getting crap for that, and it's like,
if Howie didn't pick that up, he would be getting the tweets every week. It would be Kyle Schwarber. It would be Kyle Schwarber-esque of like the money this dude is making. And look, he will get paid this offseason. Like, they will give him a new contract if he keeps this up. But the good news is, by picking up the 5th-year option, you have some negotiating power. But that aside,
and
like,
he's super young still. Let's remember that with the weight stuff and all, it takes people time to get their lives together and to figure stuff out and all that. Like, I mean, living on your own, like all these things, like it, like we'll see what happens, but it looks like he's kind of figuring it out, you know?
I will, like, you know, fans don't get a chance to interact with him as much. It's not like Brandon Graham in that way, but like, man, I just feel really good for the guy. Like, I'm just happy for him to see him have that play, to see what he's got, to see like him overcome like the tough start to his career, to be in great shape. Like, it was just a really, really cool moment for him. And like, I mean, again, to kind of circle back, we're just kind of going back and forth because this is like an unreal win. But like,
all time, like, what else? Yeah.
If you're other teams, don't you just have to look at the Eagles and go, man, like, how are we ever going to beat these guys? Jalen Hurts has now won 19 straight games where he finishes the game.
Elliott, so
AJ Brown and Saquon have never lost a game together with Jalen. Yeah,
they'll play a game a week from today, and it will be one day from the last time Jalen started.
It's crazy.
September 29th of last year, that Bucs game. Like, how crazy is that?
And again, like, that's why Jalen's a top 5 quarterback. That's why. Like, I was critical of him, but like, that's why, because he wins all the time. So awesome game from him. I mean, we should probably talk about AJ. Like,
yeah, real quick before we move off Jordan Davis, and then you go on AJ. But Jordan Davis, and just in general, first of all, Jordan Davis also be making those plays late in the game.
Great point.
Dishes. And also just shout out to the defense in general, because even though for the first time in a while, and it's ironic that the Eagles ended up being the clearly tougher team, they got pushed around a bit in the running game on certain drives and stuff, which was surprising to see. But on the whole, like, when the offense was, as we talked about, like putrid, like what's a worse term, like abominable, whatever, like they kept them to field goals. They held it in games. They made big plays. Zach Bond, the pick early on, like they gave the Eagles a chance to stay in that game. And it wasn't like the best defensive performance ever, but they made big plays on big downs. And I thought that was important.
Yeah, and I'll say this, like, for all the hype McVay gets, and he's a great coach, but, like, his offenses aren't good in the red zone. Like, Mr. Scheme, Mr. Offensive Genius, his teams cannot score in the red zone. They weren't able to do it last year, and they weren't able to do it today. So I'm not even taking anything away from the defense because the defense held them to those field goals.
And this defense has done that the last year too. That was a hallmark. Keeping teams out of the end zone.
That's the difference between Eagles and other teams. The Eagles consistently win on 3rd down, 4th down in the red zone. And the Rams cannot win in the red zone. Like, that is why they don't win as much as the Eagles do. Because when the Eagles get in the red zone, they score touchdowns. Like, today, we saw it again, texting with my friend, like, they're going to win the game. Like, once they got in there, I thought it was game over. And so to AJ, right? Like, dude, I mean, you want to talk about feeling happy for somebody.
Dude.
Yeah, like AJ deserved that. And I also thought I talked about it with Jalen, like the emotion he played with, but I thought the emotion AJ played with today was really, it really got the team going. It reminded me of last year when Saquon would run over somebody and it would get the whole team going. AJ running through guys today after the catch. And honestly, credit to him. Like, we're going to give credit to the whole team for bouncing back. But we talked all week about how AJ was frustrated, about how he really needed to have a big game. And it was not the start he wanted, right? First target he gets is borderline drop / knocked away. Tough. I don't think he had a single catch in the first half. They had no passing yards, so he couldn't add many. But for him to like mentally keep going, for him to mentally pull that off is like super, super impressive. And I just thought between him and Jalen, the emotion they played with in the second half really, really gave the team some life and really, really like made them believe. So I thought it was really impressive. Like that drive where he hit AJ deep and then he hits Goddard, talking about Jalen, and then the defense gets a stop. Like at that point, I might even texted you this. I was like, that's kind of the game.
Oh, totally.
Like,
I said to Emily, I'm like, we're back. Like, this is like a different thing. Like that, everything just shifted. And to your point, AJ, and look, like what was it in week 2? Was it week 1? Week 1. Everyone gave Nick such crap when he was like giving credit to AJ for like keeping his focus and staying in the game. And like, oh, today's a perfect example. Another first half after what we've had. Like, he's probably like, come on, man. Like almost like Ryan Howard in Colorado. Like, get me the plate, boys. Like, just give me a chance to change this game. And he like answered the bell in such a like, that was the thing. He had 109 yards, and it was like, he was like, it felt like he deserved 100.
Agreed. He fought hard for those 109.
Like, he was awesome. He was, I knew, and like big plays in big spots. And, and again, Jalen too deserves a lot of credit. But like, if you had to pick, like, it felt like AJ was a superstar today in those, you know what I mean? And, it's really, and again, for all of them, Devontae, for Jalen, Hurts, obviously, for the whole group to get going like that and to move the ball through the air and have that type of success and win because of it. Like, to your point, this was something you brought up a lot that I couldn't contest. No matter how much I say September doesn't matter and it was just one game or whatever, I can't contest what the locker room feels like and what those guys feel. And you kept saying, like, I don't know, but I feel like these guys need it. They need something offensively passing into, and like, that's a pretty damn good something right there.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll say as we kind of wrap this up is, like, now we'll find out. Like, was today the beginning of it, or was today they were terrible for a first half, the Rams just vomited all over themselves, and the Eagles took advantage of it? Like, it's a special win no matter what. Trust me. Like, it's a special win. But if you remember from that Giants game in 2010, like, didn't they lose the next week? Like, I feel like it kind of fell apart after that Giants game, right?
Everything did. Like, they I think Joe Webster might have been the next game. Yeah.
So I think it was.
You're so right. And look, the Bucs just won on a last-second field goal. So 2-3.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah. So
So look, I think next week, the beginning of the game, like, let's see how they come out. They traditionally struggle in Tampa, but you said you were talking to Emily about it, and like, had they lost, who knows where we truly would have been, like, if they would have stayed that disgusting for the second half. Maybe we come on and it's, look, that was you throw it away game, like, whatever. But it did feel at points, and especially being here in the stadium, that like, it could have been a teetering moment in the year. Like, if they would have stayed,
food and stuff.
Yeah. And I'll say this of the fans too, like, for good and bad.
Shout out. I think they were good with it.
Well, I just think today
catch was great.
Yeah. I think it's so crazy to think back to that moment and to think they ended up with 33 points and won the game.
I know.
But
33 points, dude.
It's so crazy. So, like, in the first half when they're not playing well, it's like ugly in here. Fans are booing, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is not helping. Like, I understand the boo for sure. You should do it. They deserve it. But it's just making the environment less conducive to a comeback. But man, in the second half, when the offense was going and they were making plays, like the fans were unbelievable. Like the Rams were unable to maintain it in that atmosphere. Yeah.
That big fourth down stop. And I'll say we had Kelsey on this week, and I never heard him say it this way, but he was like, listen, I think the Philly media being on you is
I
know there have been instances where it helped us because it like you have to be on your toes. You have to expect like criticism. You have to be able to like you never get comfortable. And I thought it was like, it was like, and I feel like the fans are the same way, like that. They keep you honest, and
100%.
So I'm with you. And again, just shout out to the leadership, Jalen, Nick, the group, just awesome. Vic Fangio again, that was a really and look, by the way, for those who haven't seen it, the Packers lost to Cleveland today.
Yeah, so there you go. But big last thing I'll say, and then we'll wrap it up, is like I think what you said early on in the pod is maybe like the thing that I keep thinking about, which is your week is going to be so much better because of this. And everyone listening, like think about your Monday tomorrow compared to what it was going to be, right? If that keeps up for a whole game, it's ugly. Everyone's mad at WIP because how we're talking about the team. Like it's just like ugly week. And now like, man, go enjoy your Sunday. Go enjoy your Monday. Like that's why you love sports, man. That's why you love sports. Dude. Yeah.
Well, and I'll take it a step further. It's like, you're exactly right. But then on top of it, it's like, and the last time this happened is the Schwarber former game when Emily, like I was grinning ear to ear all night because I was like, I can't believe I got to see that. Like
crazy. Yep.
So rare. Like 21 times ever. I watched every single one. Like I was like watching as happened. Like, this is like, it's not a 4-homer game, but like, this is like, it's not just like
we'll always remember it. We'll always remember it.
Yeah. This will be the Jordan Day, you know what I mean? And like, that's even cooler, For sure. All right, let's get you to the locker room. We'll be back obviously soon this week to react more because there's a ton to talk about. But man, what a win. Enjoy it. Like, what a win. What a win. Yeah. And is that what you wanted to see?
Amen.
All right. We'll be back this week. Big week against the Bucs.